Today we're going to be looking at converting a Micrologix 1500 to a CompactLogix. In our I/O configuration here in our old Micrologix program, we can see that it's already using some 1769 I/O. So we're going to maintain the I/O, change out the processor for a CompactLogix, and that'll bring us a little closer into the future with Studio 5000 and some Ethernet capabilities that we don't currently have. So first things first, we need to save this. So File, Save As. I created a folder, Micro to Compact, and everything we do needs to be in that folder. So we're going to save this as an SLC file. Same name is okay. Hit Save. Default is okay here. Hit OK. The next thing we're going to do is go to Tools, and we're going to export the database. So Database, ASC2 Export. This is what the migration software will use. We're going to use a CSV file. We want to add the instruction comments to our file, so we'll have those in the new project. We'll click OK here. Once again, we want to use the same folder, so we'll find that folder, Micro to Compact. Click OK, and click OK. Okay, now we're almost ready to run the conversion software. We need to do a little cleanup first, so we'll go back up to Tools, and we'll delete unused memory. See if there's any of that. It usually doesn't take too long. It's actually pretty quick. So we deleted 1,600 words. We'll go back up here. We'll delete some more. Go Database, and then delete unused addresses. Click Yes here. All right, we removed 11 records on that. So once those things are done, then we can create an ACD file, which those of you familiar with Logix 5000, that's what it uses. So we'll go to File, Save As. Once again, in the same folder, we're going to make this an ACD file. And once we hit Save, the migration utility should pop up. The first window gives us an option. Are you going to ControlLogix or CompactLogix? We're going to Compact. And then we can select our processor. In this case, we're using a 1769, so we can keep our I/O L30. And I have revision 30 on this laptop, so that's what we'll use here. Keep existing I/O will basically take the existing I/O and make it a remote rack in the new project. We don't want to do that. We want to just attach the new CompactLogix processor to the existing I/O. So we're going to update all the I/O, but we don't want to replace them in a remote rack, so we'll uncheck that. And that forces all the I/O modules to be placed into the local backplane. And we'll have to do some editing with that when we get done, but it works. These are just defaults and they'll stay there. Just create placeholder tags. We'll have to do some I/O mapping to make that work. So then we go Migrate. This doesn't take long. Launch RSLogix 5000 will light up when it's finished, and we'll be able to launch that program and have our new project ready to go. Okay, there it is. So I'm going to launch RSLogix 5000. I'm going to pause. It usually takes 2 or 3 minutes for that to kind of compile and get ready to go. So we'll come back when it's loaded. Okay, so that took about 3.5 minutes for that to compile and open up Studio 5000. So here we go. This is our old Micrologix project that has been migrated to version 30 of Studio 5000. And you see here we have our 1769 L30ER CompactLogix as our processor. We will have to go in here and add the I/O cards, which will be fairly easy to do. And we see here all of our ladder programs. They're in a different order because 5000 puts these in numerical order, whereas 500 kind of did them in the order in which they were created. So that can be kind of confusing to some people. So the next thing we're going to do is check or verify this program for errors. There will be errors. We'll see how many we have. So it looks like we have 45. Now what we have here are a lot of PCE errors. Now if you've never done this before, this may concern you. There's nothing really to be concerned about. Basically, a PCE error is a timer that needs to be looked at. Doesn't mean it's wrong, just means it needs to be looked at. Because if you remember in 500, you could set your time base, and in 5000, it uses only millisecond time bases. So in this case, this identifies this wrong and this compute block here as a possible error. Doesn't guarantee that it's an error, it's just saying, hey, you need to look at it because it's using the pre of a timer, the preset field of a timer, and wants to make sure that this value is accurate in milliseconds. Because if it's not, then you need to figure out this calculation and change it so that this will be in milliseconds and not seconds or tenths of a second or hundredths of a second or anything like that. It used to be in milliseconds only. And so as we go down through these, you'll notice that that's what they all are. No matter how many of these I click, they're all something to do with timers, either the preset field or the accumulated field of a timer. And so you just have to go through, figure out what these timers are, and then figure out what their original time base was. And so we can figure that out. So we're at rung 6 of ladder 113. So if we go back here, back to 113, like I said, they're in different order. And we look at rung 6. And so that's looking at T14. So then we have to find it, T1437, which luckily is right here above us. So that is a 1 second timer. That's its time base, based on 1 second. So we have to change that one because we only do milliseconds in Studio 5000. So that would be one that we would definitely have to come in here and say, okay, that's wrong. See, now our preset is 60,000 because that's in milliseconds. So we have to make sure that these values that are here are accurate. And we have 45 of those to do, which shouldn't take too long. And then I like to go through the program and just make sure, kind of spot checking here and there, making sure that the program converted properly. And what you'll find is sometimes that you'll have programs that'll come across and they'll just be empty. And so then you may worry you a little bit. You need to go back and look at it. So that one's 65. So we'll go back over here and look at 65. And 65 is empty. So that's good. We can probably just delete that one or put an NOP in it or something like that and move on with our lives. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you for joining us.